Catherine, thank you. Well, joining me live in studio today is Chemung County Undersheriff Douglas Houper, here to talk to us about some safety tips as folks are heading out for their New Year's Eve plans. Now, in New York State alone, 30% of fatal crashes are due to drivers who are under the influence. For those folks that are making plans and heading out the door soon, what are some tips that you suggest?
Well, the first tip I can do is have a plan before you go out. If you know you're going to drink, don't even drive to that location. That way that takes that out of the realm. If you take a cab, take a ride share, get a friend to take you. That way when you're celebrating too much and making bad decisions, that won't be one of them, is to drive home drunk. Right.
Now, what are some of the variables that are considered for someone to be under the influence if they were to get pulled over?
It's a lot. It depends on, how much you've had to eat, what your stomach content has to absorb some of the alcohol. Doesn't mean you're less drunk, just means it's going to be slower to release in your bloodstream.
Right. Now, Chemung County has the Stop DWI program. Could you walk us through a little bit what that program entails?
Yep. So we have state money to put out patrols to specifically look for intoxicated drivers, and we do that on the holiday area, and it's just not one night. It might be this whole weekend. We'll be out looking for intoxicated drivers.
Right. Now, for folks that are heading out the doors, and let's say they get to, let's say, a family or a friend's house party, and they're at the house, but the friend sees they're under their influence, but they're insisting that they can drive. What are some tips for those people?
To be firm.
Yeah.
You don't want that driver to leave when they're intoxicated, because that could end in tragedy, whether it's them or somebody else on the road that's not been drinking. Be firm with them and don't let them. Also be aware that taxi cabs and ride shares are going to be busy that night, and to have some patience and be courteous to those drivers because they're busy that night.
Right. Now, driving under the influence, those fatal crashes, it's one of the leading causes in car accidents that we see. Do you anticipate for the incoming year for laws to get a little stricter on that?
Yeah, there's some legislation that's being talked about, nothing permanent yet, but they're going to talk about lowering the BAC level for intoxication. But that's up to the state level to make those decisions.
Right. Now, for those folks that are, again, heading out or getting ready for those plans, what are some last-minute notes that you have in mind, or a last-minute message, I should say?
Like I said, have a plan.
Right.
Have somebody that's not been drinking going to take you home. Don't give that temptation of driving to the bar or party and then have, those bad decisions come at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning that you're going to drive home. It's only going to take that one incident that could ruin your life, basically.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Undersheriff Houper. I'll send it right back over to you, Kurt, but we'll have all that information linked for you on WENY.com.